our next topic is new data services. So why we are getting into the new data services is, so as GSM is a connection oriented service, we need to have a service that transfer the data over the wireless interface. That means it should not be a circuit switcher, means the route is established, right? In order to transfer the data, the route is established. So if the route is established, no one can use that route for others. So what we are doing is, we are going to introduce the concept of packet oriented, where it can reach the destination in any way. Right? So why we are getting into new data services? What is the thing behind this? So whenever GSM was introduced, it is going to have the data rate of 9.6 kilobit per second. So with this 9.6 kilobit per second, we will not be able to do the data communication. So this mainly focus only on the voice communication. But in those days, the voice communication is also very less. Not many people use this voice communication. They use it to use some letters or like that, right? So this voice communication with this data rate is sufficient in that days. But nowadays, this is not much more sufficient. So in order to reduce this disadvantage and make this more flexible to the users, we have generated two types of new data services. One is HSCSD and second one is GPRS. So what happens in HSCSD? So HSCSD means high speed circuit switched data. So here the name itself indicates that it is a circuit switching. Circuit switching means the route is established from source to destination, right? So being a connection oriented mechanism, this is not more preferable. That is why we are going into the another concept called GPRS. So what's happened in HSCSD is, so previously we have only one 9.6 kilobit per second channel. But in HSCSD what happens is, so assume that this is one traffic channel. So number of n traffic channels are combined. Okay. So if four traffic channels are combined, that means 9.6 into 4. How it much? So 4, 6, 24, 36 and 38. So if four traffic channels are combined, the data rate might be 38.4 kilobit per second. Okay. So even though this is a less data rate, this is better when compared to this thing, right? So what's happening in HSCSD is, number of traffic channels are bundled together to form a channel with high data rate. Okay, not even high, some average data rate, but it is better when compared to 9.6. So the one disadvantage in this HSCSD is, being a connection oriented, it will not be able to be used by other users. And next thing is, so if one channel is allocated to one particular user, that needs to be used by only that user itself. Okay, so he can, if there are 8 slots, he can use 4 slots for uplink and 4 slots for downlink while we are speaking to something, right? So, but whenever you are browsing internet, what happens? So most of the time, these channels will be idle, because whenever you visit some page, you will be seeing the content in that page itself. No data is been uploaded or downloaded. So this is a disadvantage in with respect to HSCSD. So in order to remove all these disadvantages and everything, we are going to a concept called GPRS. Okay, where GPRS stands for General Packet Radio Service. So our next concept is GPRS, where this GPRS is going to use packet oriented data transmission. So what is the goal of GPRS? More efficient with respect to transfer. Yes, because being a packet switched network over the air interface, number of channels can be used by number of users. That means throughput will be increased by the user and the data that is transferred into the network will be increased. So that is why more efficient with respect to the transfer. And next point is time slots will be allotted on demand. Okay. And next thing is it is independent of channel characteristics and type of channels and doesn't limit the data rate. So what's happening here? So even though you take any traffic channel, any type of logical channels, what happening is it doesn't depend on the characteristics of channel and its capability. So exclusively it depends on the data rate that is provided by the GPRS. So it is going to offer you with three versions. One is PTP, PTP Connection Network Service, PTP Connectionless Service, and third one is PTP Multicast. So first one is PTP Connection Network Service. So PTP Connection Network means it is connection oriented. That means a route is established in between source and destination. Even though MS moves from HLR to VLR, a route must be established. So how this route is established? By using the concept of tunneling. So what is tunneling? Tunneling is a virtual pipe. Okay. So based on this concept, it is going to use the connection network service. And next one is connectionless service. So connectionless service means through the air interface, it is going to transfer the data, right? So it is in the backbone, it is going to use the protocol called Internet Protocol. So for web browsing, we are using HTTP protocol. In the same way, the backbone of GPRS is the IP protocol. And next one is point to multicast. That means from one point to number of users will be able to transfer the data, right? So under to this, it is going to contain three classes. One is reliability class, relay class, and user data throughput. So reliability class deals with error sensitive applications. So that means the applications that should not have, the applications that are most sensitive to the errors are regarded that for that sort of applications this reliability class channels will be used. And next one is delay class, error tolerance applications. And next one is user data throughput. So the user needs to increase the throughput on its own while transferring the data into the network. So these are the three types of classes present in the GPRS, right? And next coming to GPRS architecture. Okay. So in this GPRS architecture, what we are seeing is, as of now we have seen GSM architecture. So what are the entities in GSM architecture? Mobile station, BTS, BSC, MSC, right? And then HLR, VLR, EIR, AUC and OMC. With respect to this, we have GMSC. So these are all the entities present in the GSM architecture. So in the same way, we do have GPRS architecture with these elements. The only two extra nodes, the supporting nodes for GPRS is SGSN and GGSN, right? So mobile station is nothing but a mobile phone what we are using. So after that, over the air interface, what does this BSS contain in terms? BTS and BSC. All these combinedly together called a BSS. Okay, so this is transferred, the data whatever is transferred to the BSS. So now what happens? So SGSN means serving gateway support node. GGSN means gateway GPRS support node. So we'll see the functionalities of these two in the next slide. So what happens? MSC means, why this MSC is used for? This is used for signaling purpose. And what does VLR? So whenever MS move to a new location, those details, that MS details should be present in a database called VLR. So from where it needs to get the details? From HLR. So this HLR is also called as a here GPRS register. So what happens with this GPRS register is whenever a particular member subscribe with its location with the SIM, all the details of that SIM will be stored in the GPRS register. Okay. So from this GPRS register, so whenever a mobile moves to a new location, the details will be collected from HLR to SGSN and then to MSC, MSC to VLR. Okay. So now let us see the functionalities of SGSN and GGSN. Right. So what are the functionalities of SGSN? So it requests address from GPRS registers. So in order to transfer the data, so whenever you see here, in order to transfer the data from one network to another network, what happens is it needs to get the data from HLR. So that is the first responsibility of SGSN, right? So it needs to collect the details from HLR. And next thing is it keeps track of individual location. So who needs to keep track of individual's location? HLR alone will take place that. Right? So it is going to be maintained by the SGSN also. And next thing is perform security functions and collection and billing information. So what's happening whenever the data or some signaling information is transmitted over the network, it needs to be encrypted or it should be secured, right? So in order to perform these things, SGSN will be used. And whatever the billing information, either it may be a prepaid or postpaid, the billing information by the end of the month should be given to each and every user by this support GPRS support node. Okay, sorry, it is a support GPRS service node. Okay, so the name itself indicates that it is giving a support to the entire GPRS architecture. And next thing is gateway GPRS support node, that is called as a GGSN. So what does GGSN is? So you have already seen that GGSN is connected to PDN. Okay, so see here, GGSN is connected to PDN. So what is PDN? PDN means public data network. So public data network means either it can be a telephone network or it might be some other network. So whatever, or X.25 directory is, whatever the network it is, that data or the signal should be transferred through the gateway support node. So what does this? So for example, consider the concept of gateway. So what does it does? So whenever we are making a payment, it is redirected to a gateway. Why it is being redirected? For security purpose. And at the same time, it is going to hide the details of a user by converting the IP address into another format. Right? So in the same way, here the functionalities of gateway GPRS support node is, it is going to convert interworking between GPS and PDN. This we have seen in the architecture itself. And next thing is routing information for GPRS users and performs address conversion by using NAT. NAT is network address translation. I think you have covered this in CN network by using the concepts of class A, B, C, D and E. So, and it is going to produce mask. So based on this mask, it is going to convert the address. So in order to hide the user IP address and everything, it is going to perform address conversion with the help of this NAT. And at the same time, it is going to tunnel data via encapsulation. For sure, whatever the data is transmitted over the air interface, the network is going to assume that a virtual pipe is present for data transfer. This virtual pipe is called as tunneling. So, whenever the tunneling concept is there, the data frame will be embedded into another data frame, which is called as a encapsulation. Okay, so we shall deal these two words in the third unit, right? So this is about GPRS architecture. And next one is GPRS protocol architecture. So in this we are going to deal with, rather than seeing the functionality of each and everything, the unique elements that are present in the, we are going to deal with the unique elements that are present in the protocol architecture. So what are the unique elements we have? Radio, MAC, RLC, LLC, SNDP and X.25, VSSGP and UDP, TCP and GTP. Okay. So we are going to deal with all these interfaces. So the main part between SGSN and GGSN is, it is going to use GTP protocol. So what is meant by GTP? GTP stands for Gateway Tunneling Protocol. In turn, it is going to use reliable TCP and non-reliable UTP. So if you see here, in the GGSN we have GTP, where this GTP is going to work on UDP and TCP. So in the same way, the part of it is being implemented in SGSN, because these two needs to transfer the data. That is why in order to support the services of GGSN in SGSN, the part of it is being implemented in SGSN also. Right? But the main protocol behind GPRS architecture is IP. Okay, so now the next thing is, first one is frame relay. So this frame relay means packet switching service designed for cost efficient transmission. So whatever the data is being transferred into the network, that data needs to have a less cost. Okay, so it should not charge the more for you, the user. So in order to reduce the cost for the users, this frame relay concept is being initialized. And next one is base station subsystem GPRS protocol, that is BSSGP. A part of it is being implemented in BSS, and at the same time a part of it is being implemented in SGSN. So if you observe here, if two nodes are communicating with each other, a part of it is being implemented in one component and another part is being implemented in another component. Why? Because both the components needs to exchange the data format, right? So in order to do that, those two parts are implemented in both the components. So now let us see the functionality of base station subsystem. So this base station subsystem GPRS protocol is used for routing and quality of service information between BSS and SGSN. So what are the quality of service factors here? How the throughput is, right? How much time it has taken and how much cost efficient it is. All these are considered here. And next one is RLC. So RLC stands for RLC. So this is for use for providing reliable link. Reliable link means obviously it needs to use TCP protocol as a base. Reliable means without any errors, the data needs to get transmitted over the network from source to the destination. And next one is MAC. MAC means medium access control. So in order to sense the radio channels before transferring the data. So before transferring, what we need a channel to transfer the data. So in order to transfer the data, we need certain frequency and certain bandwidth and certain channels. So in order to sense the channels and produce the signaling, we will be using this MAC. And next one is radio. So what does this radio contain? Radio contains the physical resources that are required to transmit the data from source to the destination. So what does it means? It is going to map physical resources. So already we have dealt with radio interfaces of GSM. We have logical channels, right? So in logical channels, these are of two types. One is traffic control channels and control channels. So what does traffic channels deals with? It deals with voice communication, and this deals with signaling. Okay, so radio deals with how the data is being allocated, how the data is being transferred by using these traffic channels. And next one is SNDCP. So SNDP is going to provide the mechanisms like connection oriented, connectionless, compression, multiplexing and segmentation. So why all these things? So in order to reduce the error tolerance and errors, in order to produce the data for error sensitive applications, we are going to use this SNDCP. So apart from this we have LLC, that is logical link layer, where we have ARQ and FEC. So this ARQ is a automatic repeat request. That means the data needs to be get transmitted without any user interaction. So if a packet times out, automatically the data needs to be transmitted, or the packet needs to be transmitted to the receiver. Not transmitted, it needs to be retransmitted to the receiver, right? And next one is FEC. FEC stands for forward error correction bits. So why this FEC? So in order to, so whenever we are transferring data to the receiver, there might be a chance of error, or there might be a chance of eavesdropping. So in order to verify whether the data is being corrupted or not, we are going to include parity bits. So these two things are present in LLC, that is logical link layer. So right, so this is the end of GPRS protocol architecture. So with this we completed first unit. So in today's class we have dealt with security of GSM, which is authentication and encryption, and new data services, GSM and GPRS, HSCSD and GPRS, and then in turn we discussed with architecture and protocol architecture, right? Thank you.